golden age of animation, when the world sought wonder in the wake of war, Make Mine Music rose like a symphony of color and sound. Released in 1946, this animated anthology defied the norms of storytelling, blending jazz, ballet, romance and tragedy into a compilation of 10 musical tales. Each segment, a living painting, a melody brought to life, danced to the rhythm of American spirit and post-war dreams. Make Mine Music sings its stories not with words, but with melody. It is not merely animation, it's a harmony of dreams, a canvas set to song. This is History. Hi, I'm Bas.
And I'm Kimberly. Make Mine Music is an American animated musical anthology film produced by Walt Disney Productions and released by RKO Radio Pictures on April 20, 1946. A production of both innovation and necessity, it stands as the third installment in Disney's series of package films, following Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros. The film was born during a turbulent chapter in Disney history. With World War II consuming global attention, a large portion of Walt Disney's creative staff was drafted into military service. Those who remained were redirected to support the war effort, producing training reels and government propaganda films. As a result, countless story concepts intended for a full-length feature were left incomplete, gathering dust in the studio vaults. To keep the animation department afloat and maintain a theatrical presence, Disney adapted by stitching together shorter, standalone segments, each set to music, into cohesive feature-length anthologies. Make Mine Music became a vibrant electric expression of this era, a cinematic jukebox of American culture set to everything from swing and opera to poetry and popular ballads.
Make Mine Music unfolds through 10 segments, each a standalone vignette united by music and imagination. Together, they form a cinematic symphony that spans humor, romance, tragedy and whimsy. Kicking off the film is a tongue-in-cheek tale of mountain feuding, narrated in lively harmony by the King's Men. In true Hatfield and McCoyle style, the Martins and LeCoys engage in a comically violent backwoods feud, until romance blossoms between Grace Martin and Henry Coy. Their love brings peace, though not without irony. This segment was later omitted from US home video releases due to its depiction of gunplay. The second short, Blue Bayou, was originally animated for Fantasia to Debussy's Clair de Lune. The serene sequence featured two elegant birds gliding through a moonlit Everglades landscape. For Make Mine Music, the hauntingly beautiful visuals were paired with the titular song Blue Bayou, performed by the Ken Darby Singers. The originally Debussy version still exists in archival form.
All the Cats Join In is a lively celebration of teenage swing culture. This segment features music by Kenny Goodman and his orchestra. The scene is uniquely animated in real time, as if sketched by a pencil on the fly, capturing a day in the life of Hepcat teens caught up in the rhythm of juke joints and soda shops. Though joyful and spirited, this segment has been censored in some releases due to brief nudity. Without You is a ballad of lost love. This moody and atmospheric segment is set to the vocals of Andy Russell. It paints an emotional landscape of longing and memory, conveyed through painterly visuals and gentle orchestration.
I'm so lonely and blue when I'm without you. I don't know what I'd do, sweetheart, without you.
Casey at the Bat, narrated with theatrical flair by Jerry Colonna, breathes animated life into Ernest Thayer's iconic 1888 poem. Set in the quaint town of Mudville, the segments follow the beloved slugger Casey, whose towering ego set the stage for one of its baseball's most famous upsets. Overflowing with slapstick comedy, exaggerated expressions, and vintage American charm, the piece captures both humor and heartbreak of misplaced confidence. Its enduring popularity later inspired a sequel short, Casey Bats Again, released in 1954.
Ladies don't understand baseball a bit. They don't know a strike from a foul or a hit. But when they see Casey, that game has got it. They see the pride of them all.
Two Silhouettes is a delicate blend of live action and animation. The poetic piece features rotoscope ballet dancers performing in silhouette. Set to a graceful ballad sung by Dinah Shore, the dancers are joined by animated companions and soft pastel visuals, creating a dreamlike interlude.
Two silhouettes together in the afterglow. Two silhouettes become as one when lights are low.
But as one of the film's standout segments, Peter and the Wolf is a faithful and animated adaptation of Sergei Prokofiev's orchestral fairy tale. Narrated by Sterling Holloway, it tells of young Peter, who ventures into the Russian forest to capture a fearsome wolf with his animal friends. Each character is represented by a different instrument, allowing children to hear the story through both word and symphony. Benny Goodman returns with his quartet to animate a jazzy parade of personified instruments in After You've Gone. Clarinet, piano, bass, drums and cymbals come to life in a surreal, bouncy playground where rhythm rules and melody moves.
Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet is a whimsical love story set in a New York department store. The story follows two heads who fall for each other in a shop window. Separated by circumstance, Johnny braves the city street to reunite with his lost love. The Andrews sisters' harmonies lend warmth and charm to this tale of unexpected romance and faith.
Johnny Fedora met Alice Bluebonnet in the window of a department store. 'Twas love at first sight, and they promised one night they'd be sweethearts forevermore.
With the finale of Make My Music, The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met, the anthology ends on a powerful, bittersweet note with the story of Willie, a sperm whale gifted with an operatic voice.
Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread. Mammy's little baby loves shortening, shortening. Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread.
Dreaming of fame at the Metropolitan Opera, Willie's talent goes tragically unrecognized by the impresario Teti Tati, who believes the whale has swallowed a singer. What follows is a moving mix of comedy, tragedy, and operatic grandeur. Though Willie's fate is somber, the segment ends on a high note, imagining him performing eternally in the heavens.
Mammy's little baby loves shortening bread.
Each segment of Make Mine Music reflects the post-war era thirst for artistic exploration and emotional range. Together they form not just a movie, but a musical time capsule of 1940s America. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk with you about, because as a kid, I saw this movie so many times, but not as a movie, because I can remember clear as day that they cut him up and showed him on the Disney Channel, and it was this 15-minute cartoon, and I think it was 20 years later when I finally saw Make My Music as a whole that I was like, holy crap, this is a movie. I always saw these segments as a standalone segment on TV.
To be honest, I never even saw the segments.
Really?
No, I think my mom just bought videotapes and I watched the videotapes. Yeah, you had videotapes back then. And I didn't watch the Disney Channel that much.
Oh wow! Every day when I came home from school, in between the hours, I turned on my TV and I know it was on Channel 4, and you had cartoons like these and Rescue Rangers and then Darkwing Duck and that kind of stuff. But also, because that's where I know Johnny Fedora. Because when we were watching the movie recently, I could sing the whole lyrics to Johnny Fedora, and I've seen Make My Music once.
But it's a catchy song though, so I've seen the segment just once now, but the song is in my head still.
Johnny, oh Johnny, your Alice Bluebonnet will always be waiting for you. So don't give up hoping, and don't give up dreaming, for true love will come smiling through.
I have to say, it's my favorite segment of the whole movie. And
I
it's
can understand, yeah.
because of that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said, I'm really kind of done with these package films.
Yeah. Yeah, I really am, because I want like a story to be told. And these are like, it doesn't feel like a film because it are different segments. So you're just into a segment and then, oh, it's done already. Let's go to another segment. It's not a complete film. That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah, and like I said, there are segments, and yeah, I remember these as segments. And to see them in a film, I knew they were from this movie, but like I said, I just knew that later on in life. And I still see them as segments. I never saw Make My Music as a film. And I know it did a lot of things for the Disney company back in the day, but yeah, the thing with these package films is I rather look at the segments one by one than as a complete package.
Yeah, I can really understand. I do appreciate a little bit more knowing the history, knowing the difficulties the Disney company went through at that moment. But still, just I can't wait till we arrive at Cinderella or so.
Yeah, but the best thing that came out of this movie,
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say.
Yep.
Because every time we go to a Disney park, there's one thing we have to do.
Get a hot dog at Casey's Corner.
Get a hot dog at Casey's Corner. Yeah, and that's all coming from this movie.
Yeah, and we even went to the Blue Bayou restaurant.
True, but...
And we had the most amazing... You still know it?
Yeah, we had something that I really liked, but
It's the Monte Cristo.
It's the Monte Cristo.
It's like the most famous sandwich of Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's amazing. If you ever been there or ever going there, just take that sandwich. It's enough for European people, I think, to share, because it's like a really big sandwich.
Yeah, well, that's cool and all, but nothing tips Casey's Corner, if you
Oh,
ask me. That's my go-to Disney
That's
snack.
true. And which Casey's Corner is your favorite then?
Well, since I'm from Europe, it's the one in Paris because I go there a couple of times a year normally. So I was born and raised in that Casey's Corner, but I think we ate at them all by now. Yeah.
Well, they're not all Casey's Corner.
No, that's true.
But I know that I think in Disney World it's called Casey's Corner as well. It's based on Casey's Corner because it's like the
baseball game.
Yeah, it's like a baseball inspired
they do the whole
diner. Yeah,
singing in front of the store
and
when they open in the morning.
That's something that made it extra special. They opened the store. They were singing the.
I have some audio of that.
Yeah, you have some audio of that.
I don't care if I ever get that voice. Root for the whole team and they don't wait to say. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out at the old one.
But it had like a whole vibe, and they had corn dog nuggets. That's the best thing they ever invented.
Kim is a foodie.
Yes.
Kim is a big foodie. So, Make My Music as a whole, what did you think of it? If you just discard it's a package film, that there are all these kinds of loose stories that aren't connected to each other. As a whole, what did you think of Make My Music?
I like that I watched it, and it will probably stay at that. I will not watch it again, but maybe I will listen to the Blue Bonnet song.
Yeah, it's still stuck, man, and I just can't believe after all those years, I still remember the lyrics. I haven't seen this movie in years, and I haven't seen that segment in so long. And it came on, and I was just singing along and tapping with my feet, and that was like core memory unlocked that I didn't know I have. Yeah, that's cool. But never again.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, that's harsh, but okay.
I'm sorry, Walt.
Because there are some good cartoons or
there
segments.
are some good cartoons, but it doesn't get me like the cartoons I was used to when I was small.
If you want to watch a movie, you want to watch a movie, and not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can understand that.
You Johnny Fedoras, you Alice Bluebonnets, whenever you find yourself blue, you find it's June in December. If you just remember that true love will come smiling through. That true love will come smiling through.
You know they say no idea really dies at Disney, and that's probably true. But when you're broke and short-staffed, not every idea gets its big moment. That's exactly where Walt Disney Studios found itself during and after World War II. With animators drafted or on strike and budgets tighter than ever, the studio was sitting on a pile of half-finished stories and unrealized concepts. The solution? Turn those scraps into gold. Instead of a single, polished story, they bundled a bunch of short segments together into a one feature-length film. By 1946, the war was over, but the animation department was still rebuilding. The artists were slowly returning, but Disney didn't have enough people or cash to create something as ambitious as Snow White or Bambi. The studio leaned into what it did have: unused ideas and musical inspiration. The result? 10 completely unrelated musical shorts stitched together into a single film.
Unlike Disney's traditional fairy tales, Make My Music is more about mood, color, rhythm, and emotion. It doesn't try to tell a single story, but celebrates music in its many forms. That's partially why it's often compared to Fantasia. But where Fantasia was more about classical music and abstract art, Make My Music is rooted in popular culture, what real people were listening to at the time. It was also more experimental. With each segment created by a different team, animators got the chance to try new visual styles and effects. Some segments are rich and painterly, others are loose and cartoony. Together, they form a patchwork of mid-century American creativity.
Make My Music wasn't a massive hit, but it did its job. It kept the studio going through a tough time and proved that Disney could adapt to difficult circumstances. Audiences enjoyed the catchy tunes and colorful animation, even if the film wasn't as cohesive as Disney's earlier epics. Over the years though, Make My Music has become one of the more obscure entries in the Disney canon. It's rarely shown on TV or released in full. Some fans feel it's underappreciated, while others see it as a product of its time, with outdated references and styles. Still, it remains a fascinating snapshot of what Disney could do when it's forced to think outside the box.
And even if Make My Music isn't a household name today, it holds an important place in Disney history. It showed how art can survive, even thrive, during hardship. It highlighted the power of collaboration, music, and experimentation. And it proved that animation didn't have to be one big story. It could be a collection of feelings, moments, and songs. In a way, Make My Music was a celebration. Not just of music, but of creativity during crisis. At a time when the world was rebuilding, Disney found a way to keep telling stories, one song at a time.
And if you know where to look, the spirit of Make My Music is still alive in the Disney parks, hidden in plain sight, like secret melodies waiting to be discovered. Take Peter and the Wolf for example. The whimsical tale of a brave boy and his animal companions still floats along the gentle waters of Disneyland Paris. Hop aboard the storybook Land Canal boats, and you'll glide past a miniature Russian village pulled straight from the segment, nestled quietly among more familiar fairy tale scenes.
Then there's Casey at the Bat. You won't find Mudville on any park map, but you can grab a hot dog at Casey's Corner on Main Street, USA, a tribute to baseball's most overconfident slugger. Please grab a hot dog at Main Street, USA. Trust me.
Yes.
It's a staple at multiple Disney parks. And if you're strolling the boardwalk at Disney California Adventure, keep an eye out. Casey's made his way into one of the carnival-style games too. Even Willie the Whale, the operatic star of the film's bittersweet finale, gets a quiet cameo. He appears on a poster in the queue for Mickey's PhilharMagic, a nod to the dreamer who never got his standing ovation.
Meanwhile, fans of After You've Gone might recognize a blink of nostalgia in the Back to the Past montage from the wonderful world of animation. There's a moment where multicolored balls cascade over a clarinet. Blink and it's gone, but for those in the know, it's unmistakably Make My Music. And if you ever find yourself wandering through Mickey's Toontown, either in Disneyland or Tokyo Disneyland, pause and listen. The playful background music includes the melody of Casey at the Bat, still echoing through the cartoon cityscape, like a forgotten radio hit from the 40s.
It's almost as if they want to make you buy a hot dog while you're at Toontown.
Of course.
Go get a hot dog. Make My Music may not be Disney's most famous film, but its legacy is profound. Born from wartime necessity, it transformed limitation into innovation, blending jazz, opera, and animation in bold, experimental ways. A creative spark in a dark era, it endures as a symbol of how storytelling and music can triumph even when the world is on fire.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Distory.
Join us next time when we dive into a whirlwind of controversy and cultural legacy with Song of the South, a film both praised for its technical innovation and condemned for its portrayal of race, standing as one of Disney's most complex and debated creations. Creating each episode of Distory takes a lot of time and effort. We do our utmost to deliver a brand new episode for you every month, free of charge. If you enjoyed Distory and would like to support the podcast, consider our exclusive Patreon membership. With a small monthly contribution, you help Distory improve and create more content. On Patreon, we offer 2 different memberships. With a fun subscription, you thank us for the hard work and get new episodes a couple of days earlier. If you opt in for the fancy subscription, you will also get them earlier, but you will also receive additional content, discussing not only the history of Disney, but also the current adventures. The same amount of Distory, but with more added Dis stories. Of course, Distory will remain free to listen to in your favorite podcast app. Distory is fun, fancy and free. Become a Distory member at patreon.com/distorypodcast and follow @distorypodcast on Instagram and X.